So now in this video, we're going to look at this multimeter here. So it's different than regular multimeters. We have the power coming in there. This resistor is really hot right now, so I'm going to be careful I don't touch it. But you can see here that we have a DC in for those two pins. You just unscrew it, slide the wires in, and then screw it down. And then the load. So I have a 10 ohm resistor as a load right there. But I used the color jumpers as you see there, so that I know which side's negative and plus. With the resistor it doesn't matter. With the power supply in, of course it does. This can measure up to 20 amps of current. We can, and down to 0, and we can use from 6.5 volts to 100 volts. If we drop below 6.5 volts, let's turn the power on really quick. So we have an amp of current right now. That's only a 10 ohm resistor. This wire I think is only good for an amp of current. So I think it's going to get quite hot. And so you can see it's almost an amp of current, 10 volts. So this is only, as I said, a 10 ohm resistor. So we're getting a lot of power. As you can see, it's about 9 watts. It's only a 10 watt resistor. So we're pushing the wattage of the resistor quite a bit too. There you can see it's really hot. The multimeter unit's not hot at all. And then the power supply unit is quite hot right there too. So we're generating a lot of heat. We're going to do this really quick. And I'll turn the power off soon. But in any case, as you can see, over time, if we started at 0, after 1 hour, we would have 9 watt hours. So it's building up over time. 2 hours, it will say 18 watt hours. So this is calculating how much total energy is being provided from the power supply unit to the load and whatnot. So that's going to go over time. We'll look at clearing that out later. Now, what I'm going to do, I set this to give us, first let's do the over voltage since we are already there. I'm going to go up to 12 volts and it's going to be by the voltage that gets here. And I mean 10.2 volts. And I think that's where I set the alarm. And so if I go up one more, now you can see it's flashing. That lets us know that we exceeded the voltage that I set, which was 10.2 volts right there. So let's go down to 50. I'll show you why in a little bit. Now I'm going to lower the voltage to 6.5. And here we can see the, actually, gotta hit that again. There we can see the voltage that's being outputted. Before we saw the current. And there you can see the unit's getting less than 6.5, and so it started flashing right there. So there's no audible alarm with this unit. There's a flashing light. If you're paying attention though, you can see the light flashing when your voltage gets out of range, either higher or lower. Now, as we saw before, again being very careful because that resistor is really hot. This is only intended for 6.5 volts, and we already dipped below it as far as the unit's concerned, and I found that if I keep lowering the voltage, it just gets dimmer like that. And so we got kind of a fading glow there, and I don't know why it says that, but alright, I'll unplug it, and because we don't have that much voltage. But there you can see we're back to flashing, and because it's not giving the load power, but it's just getting dimmer as you can see there. So if it's getting really dim, I guess that's an indication they don't have enough voltage for the unit to operate properly to provide the display. But luckily it doesn't cut off right at 6.5. Looks like you can go lower. So now what we saw was pretty straightforward. This is going to hold the energy that we used so far. If we add more, it'll go up. If we turn the power supply off and then turn the power supply on, it saved the energy that we used. So we'll look at clearing that later. But in case I disconnected the resistor, it's still really hot though. And as we saw with the thermal, even these wires got hot. So they're smaller than we should use. We should use thicker wire if we were going to power something for a long time. But it was pretty brief, and so I don't think we damaged anything. I did start smelling plastic though, so not a good sign. But any case, That's also a 10 watt resistor. We had 9 watts. We were pushing its wattage rating. So this unit only has one button, and so to set the backlight on and off, so I don't know if you noticed before or not, but when we were in alarm mode, the number was flashing, and also the backlight was flashing on and off. Now if we hold this down, we'll get our settings. So we can set, we can clear, and I'm not sure what current is for. 100 amps there. I'm guessing it shuts down at 100, but this is only rated for 20 amps, so that doesn't make much sense. But in any case, we're going to hold this down and go to set. So there's the voltages that we had before. Now you're going to see this just keep kind of sliding every 5 seconds, and let's you know, you just got to press the button when you're at the thing that you want, and let's just do 7.8 volts right there. So now we have a different alarm setting, and we can change our maximum too. So 5 or 6, I guess. I hit it one more time than I wanted to, and of course once you get up to 9, it goes back. So you just keep hitting it until you got what you want. So 15.6, that's good enough. So now we hold this down, and it's going to keep cycling, but we hold this down until it says pass pass right there, and we're out of limits. The voltage is 7 volts. I think we set it for 8.6 or something like that. So I'm going to raise the power supply voltage. Okay, it's 7 now. 8. So 8 was good enough. So we must have set it to 7 something. And so we can do that. And then we have this watt hours that added up. And so again, if we left it for 9 hours, then or for an hour, it would have said 9. 2 hours, it would have said guess I didn't do that fast enough. And this is my first time clearing it, so I may do it right. There we go, clear, and there we go, it cleared. And so I think that's it. So any case, as I said, I bought this unit a long time ago and never got around to using it at all, but it took, you know, I don't know, like 10 minutes. I looked at the instruction manual actually, and you kind of have to when you just have a button to work with. But usually they're pretty straightforward. You hold it down until it shows what you can change and whatnot. And so even without the manual, usually it's not terribly hard to figure out what's going on, but it is still better when you just have one button to look at the manual. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.